there are weary smiles behind those masks. Because after one of the longest EU summits in history, a deal has finally been reached on a 7-year €1 trillion budget and a coronavirus rescue package. The €750 billion recovery pot will be doled out as a mix of grants and loans. In a first for the bloc, the grants will be funded by billions of euros of common debt, an idea championed by the French and German leaders, who were close partners in the talks. A group of so-called frugal countries, the Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark and Austria, initially wanted the whole recovery package to be loans. Eventually, a compromise was achieved at €390 billion in grants, down from Merkel and Macron's desired €500 billion.
Tonight, the mystery deepening into the brazen daytime shootings at the New Jersey home of federal judge Esther Salas by a man dressed in a FedEx uniform, his face covered. 5 p.m. Sunday, authorities say Judge Salas's 20-year-old son Daniel answers the door, is shot and killed. Salas's husband, Mark Anderl, is also then shot and survives. The suspect spotted by a neighbor walking away calmly. Then today, in Liberty, New York, 100 miles north of the crime scene, law enforcement sources say the alleged shooter had been found dead in a car from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot. That suspect, law enforcement sources identifying as Manhattan lawyer and self-described anti-feminist Roy Den Hollander.
A lot has been happening in Russia since President Vladimir Putin managed to get through his proposed constitutional reforms in a referendum and cleared his way to be in power until the year 2036. On the one hand, opposition has been growing against Putin in different parts of Russia. And on the other, Putin's fiercest rival, Alexei Navalny, has announced the closure of his anti-corruption foundation, the FBK, in the face of increased scrutiny. Russia's main opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, is considered as the most vocal critic of President Putin. He has now announced that he will be shutting down his anti-corruption fund named FBK. Announcing the closure, Navalny said that this was due to increased scrutiny and hefty lawsuits filed against his organization. He said that a heavy crackdown by the government agency have forced him to do so.
The former Soviet Republic of Belarus is often referred to as Europe's last dictatorship. Located between Russia and the Baltic states, the country has been ruled for more than 25 years by one man, Alexander Lukashenko. But opposition to him is growing, fueled by his dismissive response to the coronavirus pandemic. The presidential elections are due to take place in a few weeks' time, but opposition activists and journalists are being rounded up and jailed in what people say is the most brutal crackdown that the country has ever known.
Snatched while they protest peacefully. It's indiscriminate. Police take anyone they can get hold of.
Dozens of police officers have just got out and started grabbing people off the streets, pulling them out of the protest and throwing them into the van there.
Months after a Ukrainian airliner was shot down in Iran, audio from the plane's cockpit voice recorder has finally been downloaded and will be analyzed in the days ahead. All 176 people on board Flight PS752 died. Among them, 55 Canadian citizens, 30 permanent residents, and many others with ties to Canada.
These images from the Bureau of Investigation and Analysis in Paris provide a glimpse into the decoding of data recorders from Flight PS752. Canadians are observing the work.
We have two investigators. One is the lead investigator who actually went to Tehran in January and was able to visit the accident scene and examine the wreckage.
Amateur video made public after the disaster in January appeared to show a plane being hit. Iran later admitted the plane was struck by surface-to-air missiles.
Mark McCloskey will, though. He now faces 4 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine for the crime of defending himself when no one else would. Mark McCloskey joins us tonight.
The people that broke into my neighborhood, they're all trespassing. The guy that recruited it, that planned this event, said the next day that he intended to break the law, that it was he needed to break laws in order to send his message. None of those people are arrested. None of those people are charged. The prosecutor, the circuit attorney, has apparently decided that her job as a prosecutor isn't to keep us safe from criminals, but to keep the criminals safe from us.
A team of scientists at Oxford University say they've reached a really important milestone in their work to develop a vaccine for coronavirus. They say the vaccine they're developing appears to be safe and triggers an immune response based on early trials involving more than 1,000 people. The government has already ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine. But while the findings are certainly promising, the experts say it's still too soon to know how much protection it actually offers, and larger trials are now underway.
They call it Operation Ghost Town. Opposition protesters from Mali's M5 movement have set up roadblocks in the capital Bamako and in the cities of Timbuktu and Gao. The protest movement is spreading.
We don't want to be gassed. We raise our hands high up so that they can see we are not looking for violence, that we are not a threat. Our motivation is to continue our movement of civil disobedience so that our demands are met.
Moments later, police fired tear gas in an attempt to disperse the crowd. Demonstrators want to see President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita resign and the newly elected National Assembly dissolved. They accuse Keita of rigging the ballot, which was held earlier this year, in favor of his governing party candidates, many of whom are close allies or relatives of the president.
Chaos at Trump Tower as this woman was seen defacing the Black Lives Matter mural. Watch as two cops do what they can to restrain her as she smears the paint with her bare hands.
They say they care about Black lives and they're saying to defund the police.
Then this happens. One officer slips on the greasy paint. As the officer winces in pain, the woman identified as Bevelyn Beatty doesn't stop.
They don't care! They don't care!
Beatty was charged with criminal mischief and released several hours later, only to go right back at her mischief, this time at the Black Lives Matter mural in Harlem.
We're taking our country back.
The Black Lives Matter mural, painted in giant letters right here in front of Trump Tower, is turning into a regular target of vandalism. Even with constant police presence and these metal barriers, nothing seems to stop the mischief.
And we begin with a look at the catastrophic flooding that's occurring in China. The disaster has forced Chinese authorities to issue a red alert. That's the highest warning as flood risks continue to grow along the massive 1,000-kilometer-long Huaihe River. The water level at the Wangjiaba hydrological station on the main course of the river rose to 29.66 meters Monday morning, exceeding the guaranteed level of safety. In response, the Wangjiaba Dam opened all of its sluice gates for the first time in 13 years in order to discharge floodwaters to the Menghua flood diversion area.